So welcome to the channel, and today I'm over at a friend's place. She's got a couple of really nice cars here, and this one in particular beside me, this little red bomber here, is actually what we're going to have a look at. So I'll give you a good look at the car before we get into what's going on with what we need to fix on the car. This is a little 76 MG. She's actually had this car for a while. I remember when it came back from the body shop well over a decade ago with a new paint job on it, and a bunch of new interior work was done way back then, and she keeps it in pretty fine condition. I know it needs a little cleanup because it's been sitting, and of course she parked it early in the year because she sprung a coolant leak. So that's what we're going to actually fix today. And as well as the insulator for the hood is hanging down, so we're going to glue that back up for her and get that taken care of. But it's a nice little car. So this is the plan for today, is to get this piece fixed. So early in the year when she drove it, it was a hair chilly out and she turned the heat on. This is actually the heat control valve that allows the hot coolant into the heater core inside. It's actually controlled by this knob right here. So once she turned this, I'm guessing that it hadn't been used for a very long time, and that is what has caused this to leak now, because the diaphragm probably got put into a different position. So we found a new one. We tried to source them locally, and none of our local parts suppliers had anything of the sort. So this is actually a kit that came, they're called Sports Car Parts Limited. They were off eBay, and it comes with the part as well as the hose that goes to the heater core, and the gasket that goes up against the cylinder head, because it's actually bolted right to the cylinder head. So this was $53 US for the kit. It actually got here in a very timely fashion, and I believe it was about a week. And Canadian was $80. So not a bad buy, and fairly reasonable repair. So get a camera set up, and we'll dig into this and get all this rolling along. I think we'll get some spray glue on this so it can set up, and we should have this car fixed in no time. Let that set up. By the time we're done doing the heat control valve, that should be all set up, and we can take the tape off. And the reason that we know that this was the problem is also that the coolant was actually shooting right out the back of this, so it was completely bypassing this valve altogether. So it's a pretty simple diagnosis, and actually it's not a very bad job. We just got to get her all apart now. So this bottom bolt is definitely a bit of a problem. Once you can actually get it loosened up and rotate the valve, you can get a better angle on it. Of course, I'm subject to the tools we have here, and this is the perfect size wrench, but the only problem is it's a little bulky on the box end, and that actually hinders it from seating all the way onto the bolt head. And it was quite tight, so I may have to run and get I've got a nice shaved down 7/16 wrench that would probably do this job. So we'll get the rest of this out, and see, just got a jammer there. He's got to get that jammer out, and we should be able to remove that valve, and then we'll get the hose off there. So here's the new valve, here's the old valve. This actual piece that locks the cable down didn't come with this, so you need to save this piece from the old valve, at least with this kit anyways, and everything else is there. Gonna make sure there's no coolant here, because it will definitely hinder it from sealing if it's not perfectly dry when it goes back together. I did actually hear something about that bottom bolt being a problem. I didn't have my own tools, and I went and grabbed a couple. I think it's going to be easier to put it back together because I have a shaved wrench we use for headers, as well as I think the snap-on wrench is a little smaller to actually fit in there, because of course we need to get that bolt tight as well. So our friend had to take off for a family emergency, and one thing she did was didn't leave me the keys to this. So the valve is all installed. The coolant has been topped up. Of course, I need to run it and derp it. The biggest hang up is that bottom bolt underneath that valve. And for sure, again, I know I showed you, but having the right wrench. If I hadn't run home to grab a wrench that was suitable, it would have made this a real chore, because of course if it's not tight, it's going to leak again. So we'll get her burped. She can let me know when she's back home with the key, and we'll get her back up and running, and she might be able to go for a cruise today. With the 2-part 3M adhesive, the insulator actually has stuck back up there. That worked good. So we'll be back over here actually, because this car is actually no more trouble. But about a week ago I was over here, and she also has a 68 Nova hiding in here. We'll probably get it uncovered when the time comes. But this is a little powerhouse of a car actually. It's got a pretty stout 454 in it, and there was some pulley alignment problems, so I've pulled all the pulleys off the front of the engine, and we're going to get a nicer kit to put this all back together. But this is an interesting car. It definitely moves out pretty good. I'll probably set up a camera when I come back to work on this, and we'll see how all this goes. So, as always, it's really hot today. I am soaking wet with sweat. I got dirty because I had to climb under the car to get the one bracket. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and as always, we'll be back.